You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy volt your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
New Year. So did you decompress?
I did. I got to tell you, I'm doing better at it. And I say it's hard for me to do it, but the more you force me to do it, the better I'm getting at it. And I kind of unplugged from Friday through Monday. Like I wasn't texting. I was off of social media. I went to a friend's house in Connecticut friends that you make into your family type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I slept and I wasn't on devices. Like my backpack collected dust in the corner, my tech backpack. I opened it once.
I cleaned my computer screen for the first time in like forever, because that's one thing the new year, I clean out all my closets and I make sure the technology is clean. I was like, wow, you look so much brighter today.
Thank you. I'm feeling it. Like the bag's under my eyes. I have a skin appointment tonight. Like I picked up my favorite book that I was telling you about earlier. And I got to tell you, can I show you the silliest thing to keep my book open on my desk?
Yes. That is hysterical. Why would there be anything other than a tractor on your desk?
This is a bulldozer, and that's what my husband calls me. The bulldozer or the hammer, it depends on the situation. And this is how I keep my books open when I'm reading them, and it makes me think of him. He says I can just, and it's funny because I'm going to put a little tag on here that says action. Like I'm going to use my label maker, because yes, I have a label maker. But this is going to be my action reminder, because that's our word, and that's how we're going to just bulldoze into the new year.
Right. And I love your topic today, because I was driving in and Chris, who works in the Portland Market Center, was driving in, and the topic that we're talking about that you chose today was the topic we were talking about. So it's pretty wild. Our brains, man.
It is. And so the book that I'm bulldozing, I pick this up every year, and I'm actually pretty consistent with it. This is a special copy, so I keep this one on my desk and I don't crack this one open as much. I was gifted this by another regional tech trainer, and it's the Daily Stoic, but this one's actually signed by the author. So it's, and he says in it, make time. That's what he wrote as my, when he signed it. But if you don't know what the Daily Stoic is, it's translations of all the great minds, Epicurus, Marcus Aurelius, like all these great minds, and he makes it smart so like I can understand it, like because I can't just pick up like a Stoic and start reading it. I might be smart, but I am not. I can't understand Latin for the most part. But what I love about this book is every day they give you a small prompt, and I do write consistently. And today's was be ruthless to the things that don't matter. And then I won't read the whole thing, but it says, how many have laid waste to your life when you weren't aware that you were losing?
Right.
So how many have laid waste to your life when you weren't aware that you were losing? So being ruthless. But do you want to do our affirmation before we get into it? Because I have a feeling today is going to be one of those days where we just go.
Yeah. So our affirmation is, it's easy for me to share my boundaries with others. And this one, I would probably have to repeat myself like hundreds and hundreds of times, because I bottle.
Yep.
Bottle, and then I
explode. Yep. You're like, I'd like to think of you as like a Pepsi bottle that somebody has thrown the Mentos into.
And then
Yep. That's where I'm picturing you right now, because you and I are also yes people.
Mm-hmm.
You're less yes than I am.
And I wasn't always that way.
Right. And there's not a bad thing about being yes. There could be no and no is a complete sentence.
Right.
And removing the word but, no but. How about no and?
Right.
And that's something oh, man, that last year, I feel like that's been drilled into my head, and it wasn't usually a part of what I say. So to say no and is a big difference in things.
Yeah. Well, and if you didn't notice, I'm a little strong in personality.
Really?
And my beliefs. And if I believe that
Sending you one.
if I believe that people that I care about are being harmed, or that the overall trajectory of where we're going is not the direction we should be going, I will fight. Right. And it's that be ruthless on the things that do not matter. Not everything matters equally. And
No,
when you fight for the greater good for all, sometimes you're harming yourself.
well, that's the hard thing, right? So you and I are both fighters and we have very strong opinions. And sometimes it's really hard to, are you fighting for others and hurting them? Or should we show others and coach them on being ruthless? And ruthless has a bad connotation around it. When we say ruthless, it's, you have to stick to your guns. You have to, there is nothing that can touch your lead gen time except family emergencies, right? Or emergencies. But when it comes to our business world, there's not many things that we have to protect more than our own time. And as a small business owner, and you're a team of one sometimes when it comes to lead gen, or taking on other people's time or the things that they should be doing. I think we've talked about this where I was coached by someone in a market center, and he said, we need you to stop being great. And I was like, I don't understand that. I need I'm sorry, what? And he's like, you are such a fixer. He's like, you are a problem solver and you are a leader, but you're letting your teammates down by not showing us their weaknesses. And I was like, I still need more help. He goes, picture you as a bucket. Our world is a bucket. He's like, we fill the bucket. Other people are putting holes in it, but you're patching the holes. So you're getting burned out because you're doing for everyone and you're not staying true to what your absolute role is here. So we don't know when others are not doing their role. He's like, I need you. He didn't use the words ruthless. I think he told me to stay in my own lane at that point, which is a great term. But I needed to, everything mattered to me and I needed to stop that. And then that's how I got those grass catchers, got into the one thing, started reading the Daily Stoic. And again, because I'd always done it my whole adult life. And it was just funny how when I let go of other people's job responsibilities, when I let go of things that didn't matter to my 20%, and I set boundaries, saying no, and how can I support you to get what you need to get this part of your job done?
Yeah.
No, and if you still need help after I've done what I need to do for the day, I might be able to get into the schedule. Let's see how you do and then come back to me.
Right. And, a lot of people get into this business and think it's easy, right?
Well, it is easy. It's not simple.
Right.
Or it's simple. It's not easy. Like you got to pick the day and those two flip flop constantly.
Right. Well, and it's the action piece, right? So when you think about be ruthless on the things that do not matter, if what matters to you is building a great real estate business, where do you draw the lines?
Right. And how do you communicate them? I think that's the other thing is a lot of people don't communicate or get ruthless because one, they don't have goals. If they do, they are not written down into a formalized goal with a 411. Because when you have a 411, it's almost like your protective shield.
Mm-hmm.
It's this does not fit in. Where in this does this fit into my goals? And now there are times we have to be team players, right? There are times other people on our team are sick. We do have to pick up responsibility. People are on vacation. Mental breakdowns like I had last week. No, it's not a mental breakdown. It was just a good decompress from the craziness. But
people aren't supposed to stay in your life forever either. And sometimes,
Tribes.
right, sometimes the be ruthless on the things that do not matter is, have I outgrown my environment?
Ooh, that is such a hard question to ask yourself, especially when I came to Keller Williams. I was very happy in my role until I got excited about something else and I realized I had outgrown the company and where I was. I was so good at my job, I put myself out of a job. And there was no further growth without hurting the other people at my role. There was just what they weren't ready. And I still have a great relationship with them, but that was a hard conversation to sit down and have with my husband is I think I want to take a role outside of my comfort zone and figure out what I want to do because I've outgrown that. And that's the other thing. That's when I started doing everybody else's job because I was bored.
Right. Oh, and yeah, preach. Right.
Boredom is a killer for someone like me. Like there's a reason I'm so time blocked, right? Because if you give me a half hour, I will squish an hour into it and get so hyper focused on things. Right. Yeah. I won't I can't.
Well, it's fun to be in business with you because as much as we're in the regional role, we have projects that we're working on outside of that. And to watch the way your brain works, and it comes down to the fact that when you surround yourself with the right people that give you the energy you desire, that's when you're winning, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about tribe last week, so who is your tribe? Who are those 5 to 7 people at the market center or wherever you are in business that you should be aligned with?
Right. Who's the cheerleader? And it's funny, we talk about tribe, and oftentimes when I say that, people misunderstand. They think I'm booting people out of my life. And it's like, no, but there's players that move around, right? I'm not saying you delete these people from your phone. No. You can't delete people unless you want to. But it comes down to, I know, you dead to me. I know, you and you're dead to me. But it comes down to, they're still there, and we've got to communicate to them how we need them in our lives, but they may not be the people in your tribe every single day. And mine has changed a lot. Mine will continue to change. And I like that because it's refreshing to me to grow. I will always be a perpetual learner. I will never stop learning. Right. I love to teach and learn.
Well, and there's tribes in different categories, right? Like the one thing, page 114, the 7 circles, right? So just because they're not in your tribe in business does not mean they're not your tribe in family, or not your tribe in whatever your spiritual world looks like, or whatever your fitness world looks like, right? So who are the people? Who are the people, and where do they fit in? It's important.
It's super important. It's super important because then they also will help you with your actions. So our word is going to show up everywhere this year, because if we're doing something, we can't just do. Right? We just can't think about it. We have to do. We can't sit on it and think and meditate. And there has to be action, whether it's even as something as putting something on your calendar, setting a reminder, or speaking it to someone so that it comes to fruition. I was telling you last week, I've been saying my goal out loud to people, where in the past I was like, ooh, they don't need to know that. They do, because they're the people who are going to help me get to that goal, and I'm going to help them get to their goals. It's this awesome process. And since saying my goal out loud, the amount of things that have shown up have been incredible. So we've got to take action on everything.
Yeah. And mindset's important. But we could spend a lot of time in the planning and the mindset and not take the action. So make sure you live it whole, right? What's your mindset need to be? What's the planning need to look like? And then what's the action need to look like, right? Mm-hmm. So you need all 3 of those categories. Sometimes I read a quote a while ago, thinking and building is procrastination. Because I'm guilty of it. Like I'll plan and not take action. And it's a form of procrastination. I'm also the one that very much like you, like if I don't have it planned out that these are deadlines and the deadlines need to be like immediate deadlines, if I have a 30-day deadline to do something, I'm going to wait until day 28, 29, because that's just the way I work.
Yeah.
So those important things of today's action, what's the goal and what's the deadline? Like your deadline should be once a day.
It should be. And it's small things like I time block, because if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist because of my squirrel brain. I need the calendar. So my tech action for you guys is put time block activities in that push you further to your goal. Even if it's something as simple as a data dump at the end of the day for your grass catcher. We've talked about how I need the list to just, if it means at the end of the day, you have that half-hour block to make sure everything goes into your database. Because if you're not taking care of your database every single day and living in the now of that, you're going to not like the action items you have to take in a year or 6 months when business may be down for you.
Right.
And
I would add to that, if you have a 30-day out goal, how do you chunk it down to there's a goal every day for those 30 days?
Yeah, put it at the end and work your way backwards. I love doing that. I think I've shown you from my project management days, put an end goal and then how you back into it. And it's funny because it ends up being a GPS and a 411. Like, it's funny how simplified KW has made it. Mm-hmm. And how I make it way too complicated, but my brain needs those complications that says you can't do this task until this task is done. And that's how my brain works when everything's attached. So, but I'm still taking action in my brain because I'm setting up the project to make sure we hit deliverables.
Right. Exactly. And you hit deliverables every day. So we're very fortunate to have you in our world.
I do. And I actually enjoy them. I enjoy our deliverables because you know what? The cards I get, I got a card. I had this waiting for me when I got home this weekend. What was in here had to do with the deliverables we give to the region. And this card, it's so heavy because it's worth its weight in gold.
I love it.
It's worth its weight in gold.
So make this part of your world. Join us every morning and listen. We're live right now. We're on YouTube, but we're going to be changing things up. So right now, continue watching us on YouTube. And then as we take this journey even further, we have more to share.
We do. All right, friends. Welcome to 2023. Take action. Do something today. Even if it means standing up, stretching, and getting your butt out the door. Take some action today.
Right. Bye, Miss Brooke.
Bye.